Where's Rod Johnson? Sing it with us. Where's Rod Johnson? I need it louder. Where's Rod Johnson? Where's Rod Johnson? He cannot do it. There he is. Where's Rod Johnson? Wow. Oh, look at this. What a great crowd. Hey, everybody, thanks for being here. Are we going to have fun tonight or what? Yeah. I tell you what, it's just an honor to be back here to serve as your MC. I'm from down around Cannon Falls. Been involved in this for many, many years. Back in the day when I used to be a farm broadcaster and I used to come up here and cover this event. And by the way, to all the farm broadcasters and media here tonight, thank you. Thank you for being here and for your coverage of Princess Kay of the Milky Way. No longer a farm broadcaster. I spent 21 years as the voice of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Gave that up a couple of years ago so I could devote more time to my auction business. We do benefit and fundraising auctions throughout the Midwest, and it's something I really, really love. But I tell you what, this is one of the highlights for me of the year. I love coming up here, Princess Kay of the Milky Way. We have 10 finalists backstage. Now, they probably can't see this huge crowd, but they can hear you. What do you say we let them know we're here, huh? Let's make some noise. We are going to crown a brand new Princess Kay of the Milky Way tonight, so get ready, buckle up. I tell you what, let's do this. Oh, I tell you what, before we officially get things underway, I do want to say a big thank you, and let's hear it for Fairchild and Fairborn. Weren't they great this evening, entertaining us? And you know what, we also appreciate them. They serve as escorts for Princess Kay every day in the State Fair Parade. So again, one more time, let's hear it for Fairchild and Fairborn. All right. At this time, would you please turn your attention to the screen right here? We have a very special video presentation at this time.
Compassionate. We as dairy farmers know that our commitment to providing you and your family with safe, wholesome, nutritious milk all begins with the top-notch care of our animals. Whether it's a newborn calf or a full-grown cow, we provide complete care and monitoring at every stage of this life. This includes providing a nutritious diet, regular medical attention, as well as comfortable living conditions. We work closely with our nutritionist who ensures that each cow gets the best diet possible. And if an animal isn't feeling well, we contact our local veterinarian to come out to our farm. It's a team effort to provide top-notch care for both our calves and our cows.
Dairy is environmentally friendly. Along with providing top-notch care to our animals, we also have to be mindful about what happens to our land and our environment. After all, this is the land that we call home and that future generations will also call home. Dairy farms only account for 2% of the world's greenhouse gas emissions, and by next year, we want to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 25%. Dairy farmers are always looking for innovative ways to be greener. On my family's farm, we practice no-till on our fields. This prevents soil erosion and allows organic matter to grow freely in the fields.
Dairy is sustainable. In 1960, the average farmer produced enough food to feed 26 people every year. Today, the average farmer produces enough food to feed 150 people each year, all while using less. The world population is expected to reach 9 billion people by the year 2050, and it is our commitment to you, as farmers, to continue to find ways to produce more while using less. We can do this by using new technologies. On my family's farm, we use automatic scrapers to keep our freestyle clean and to push manure into the pit that we later spread back on our fields.
Dairy is family. The best part about growing up on a dairy farm is getting to work with my family every day. I am the 6th generation on my family's dairy farm. That means since 1864, someone in our family has farmed here on this land. 95% of dairy farms in Minnesota are family-owned, just like mine. I would say the best part about growing up on a dairy farm is getting some invaluable life lessons from both my dad and my grandpa that I wouldn't learn anywhere else but right here on the dairy farm.
Dairy is a community. Of the nearly 400,000 agriculture-related jobs in Minnesota, nearly 80% of them are off the farm. There's a chance that 1 in every 10 people you know, be a family member, a friend, or even a neighbor, works in the agriculture field. Dairy farms not only provide jobs on the farm, but also to local businesses, some being the welder, the veterinarian, the tire shop, or even the gas station. My family finds it necessary to help in building the local economy. That's why it was no surprise that my dad decided to go with the local cement company and excavating company to help build the foundation of our new barn when we moved 10 years ago. In the process, we built trustworthy relationships with these businesses and even friendships as well.
Dairy is safe. Dairy foods are some of the safest products on the market with constant monitoring and testing. Dairy farmers take precautions to ensure that the milk that comes from their farm is always safe and of the highest quality. As a milk truck comes to pick up the milk from the farms, it tests the milk before it goes into their tank. The milk is then tested again once it arrives at the creamery. Any milk that doesn't meet industry standards is discarded, but the milk that passes all the tests is then used in a variety of ways to create some of our favorite dairy foods. Each of these dairy foods are also enjoyed by the farmers themselves, the milk haulers, and the employees of the creamery with their families. We all want to ensure that you are getting the best product possible.
Dairy is fresh. In Minnesota, most people live within 100 miles of a dairy farm. Consumers care about where their food comes from and want to know more. In a market full of choices, consumers prefer fresh, local foods. And milk is that food. Besides water, it is one of the most purest foods available for us today. After milk leaves the farm, it only takes about 48 hours for it to reach your local grocery stores, restaurants, and schools.
Dairy is nutritious. As an athlete, I want to do what's best for my body, and that means providing it with the best nutrients possible. So what's really in this 8-ounce glass of milk? Milk and other dairy products provide the 9 essential nutrients that our bodies need every day. They help build and support strong bones and muscles, reduce the risk of heart disease and type 2 diabetes, and lower blood pressure. After a long day of classes, my favorite snack to enjoy is yogurt.
Dairy is economical. Dairy products are a great bang for your buck. As a college student, I am always looking for nutritious food that is budget friendly. And dairy products are at the top of my grocery list. At only 25 cents per glass, milk is nutritious and budget friendly. Plus, there are plenty of options for different meals. Milk, cheese, and yogurt all offer a variety of flavor options for endless meal possibilities. I personally enjoy a glass of whole milk with every single meal I eat.
Dairy is real. If you think about it, dairy is everywhere, from your neighbor down the road to the cream in your coffee and the cheese on your pizza. From being a local food to a nutrient-rich packed snack, dairy is always there for you. I remember growing up, every birthday party we'd have an ice cream cake there, and that's a memory that I'm going to treasure forever. Near or far, large or small, dairy farmers care about the product they produce and those who enjoy it. You are the reason we do what we do every day.
We are compassionate.
We are environmentally friendly.
We are sustainable.
We are family.
We are a community.
We are safe.
We are fresh.
We are nutritious.
We are economical.
We are real.
And we're proud to be
Undeniably Dairy.
Yeah, all right, how about that? That was great. Well, you know, ladies and gentlemen, there are people here tonight from all across the great state of Minnesota who make this program happen. And as I introduce them, I would ask that you please stand. First of all, our Midwest Dairy Minnesota Division Board members, would you please stand? The CEO of Midwest Dairy, Mr. Lucas Lynch. Chairman of the Midwest Dairy Corporate Board, Alan Merrill. our Midwest Dairy Princess Committee, all past Princess K's, the Dairy Star for assembling our program each year, AMPI from New Ulm. Now you know them as the creamery that donates over 900 pounds of butter each year for our butter sculptures. How about the one and only Scott Boland and the Princess K Band, the greatest. And of course, the parents of our finalists. Would you please stand, and one more time, let's give a big round of applause for all these great folks that help make tonight possible. Well, it has been quite a year for our reigning Princess K of the Milky Way. Get this, she has traveled over 7,850 miles throughout the state of Minnesota. That's a lot of miles. She made 61 personal appearances. She traveled to 45 counties. She visited schools, county fairs, dairy days on the farm, community events, rubbed elbows with football players and fans during Fuel Up to Play 60 Vikings football games. These are only some of the ways that she has represented the dairy community this past year. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome your 65th Princess K of the Milky Way, Ms. Rebecca Paskowitz. Thank you for your dedication to the dairy community. You know, tonight your reign as Princess K comes to an end. What are your thoughts looking back on this past year?
Well, it's hard to sit down and reflect on every single moment that I've had, but I was thinking about it a little bit earlier tonight and just visiting with the people at my table at the banquet. And you know, it's the people who make every opportunity I go to more than just an event. It's an experience, and it's something that stays with me and fills my heart wherever I go.
All right, now, do you have any advice to pass on to whoever is our next Princess K?
Oh yeah, I mean, the first 12 days are the ones that introduce you to the state of Minnesota and beyond. And my greatest advice is to be your true self. I'm someone who loves to laugh really loud and talk a lot. And I'm sure many of the people in the audience are laughing because they know it's true. But I would suggest that no matter what your personality might entail, you were chosen for that reason. And if you show that the first 12 days, it'll be so much easier for you to go forth and be your true self for the next 365.
Some great advice. And what is next for Rebecca Paskowitz?
You know, I'm really excited to head back to South Dakota State University and start my senior year as a jackrabbit. I'll be studying agricultural education for the fall semester and traveling to Sibley East to student teach with Tim Eulenkamp in the spring.
That is great. Ladies and gentlemen, how about one more time for your 65th Princess K of the Milky Way, Rebecca Paskowitz. Again, just a great job this past year. And with that, the time has come to meet our candidates, our finalists for the 66th Princess K of the Milky Way. Are you ready? I said, are you ready? Here they are, your finalists for 66 Princess K of the Milky Way. First, she's the daughter of Kevin and Kelly and will start her sophomore year at South Dakota State University this fall, studying agricultural education, where she hopes to teach after graduation. She's active in 4-H and FFA, showing at the county and state fair, and participating in dairy judging. Her hobbies include reading, singing, spending time with her siblings. From Harmony, representing Fillmore County, please welcome Kayla Beal. Kayla, hey, you gotta tell me, what have the past few days been like for you?
Well, the past few days have gone by in an absolute whirlwind. It's been a lot of excitement,
a little stress, and a lot of great bonding with the other girls.
All right, now you mentioned you're active in both 4-H and FFA. You know, have those organizations, you feel, been beneficial to you?
Oh, for sure. I've had some great leaders in both those organizations, and both have really helped me come out of my shell and really turned me into the princess I am today.
All right. Now, you say you wanted to get into teaching, you know, and I was just going to ask you, in promoting the dairy industry, does that involve teaching consumers?
I think that teaching and promoting the dairy community really go hand in hand. It's a lot about sharing your stories and trying to connect with people in both the classroom and on the farm.
All right, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Kayla Beal. Well, representing Stevens County, our next finalist returned home to her family's dairy farm after graduating from Ridgewater College. She works alongside her brother and is a volunteer taking part in the leasing program for multiple 4-H members. She credits a lot of her success to her father, who passed on his passion for dairy. She also helps with her local gymnastics team and enjoys spending time with family and friends. From Morris, the daughter of Julie and the late Ron Golombecki, here is Elizabeth Golombecki. You're a college graduate. You now work on the family farm. Is this something that you always wanted to do?
I think it was always in the back of my mind that being a finalist for Princess K would be a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and I think every little girl that grows up on a dairy farm dreams of that and taking home a butterhead of their own.
There you go. Now, could you tell us a little bit more about the leasing program for 4-H members? What's that all about?
So as I was finishing my career in 4-H, there really wasn't much in dairy and upcoming 4-Hers to show in our dairy. And we, with the partnering with multiple dairy farms, were able to put together a program where individuals are able to get a calf for the summer and show it at our county fair. And we were able to revive our dairy program so much that we had to build a whole new barn to house all the extra animals that were there.
Wow, that's great. Great program, yeah. Now, you mentioned that your father was very passionate about the dairy industry, and how has that helped you along the way?
I think growing up alongside my parents, working in the dairy barn with them, it really instilled a work ethic and so much more that I can't even touch on. And I am so proud to be his daughter, and I know he would be proud of me standing here today. And I'm just happy that I know that he's with me, even though he couldn't be here today.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, Elizabeth Golombecki. While never growing up on a dairy farm, our next finalist currently works at Molitor Dairy, where she oversees the health of the cows. Now, she says this has given her the opportunity to connect with consumers in a way others may not be able to. She currently attends Ridgewater College, where she's studying farm operations and management. From Rockville, the daughter of Scott and Tony. And representing Stearns County, please welcome Donna Honer! Donna, you know, so without growing up on a dairy farm, so how did you become interested in the dairy community?
Well, as I hadn't grown up on a dairy farm, I was born and raised in St. Cloud, Minnesota, and it wasn't until my neighbor actually approached me as a freshman in high school and wanted me to start milking cows for him on the weekends that I got involved in agriculture in any way, shape, or form. But I really fell in love with agriculture when I started becoming more involved in organizations like 4-H and FFA. They really gave me my passion, and I made a lot of friendships over the years that I hold really near and dear to my heart. And those organizations have also given me the communication that I need to go out and make more friends and help change other people's lives.
All right. Now, I think you're aware of this, but you know, you're going to be spending some time in a cooler here at the State Fair for the butter sculpture. What are your thoughts about that?
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I've been waiting for this moment since May. I never dreamed that I would have my butterhead ever. And spending those 6 to 8 hours in that 40-degree cooler is what I've really been looking forward to and just trying to get excited about. Linda Christensen, who has been doing this for 48 years, seems to be a very knowledgeable and very interesting woman that I'm so excited to meet.
I can tell you're excited. Yeah, it's going to be fun. Yeah. What do you enjoy most about working at Molitor Dairy?
So many things. I really enjoy that every day is the same but always different. I really enjoy that there are so many people on our farm that work together as a team to help care for our cows and the land that we farm. And also just the fact that it's like a blessing. If Joe Molitor would have never approached me as a shy, meek little freshman, I wouldn't be here today and I wouldn't have had the experiences that I've had on the farm. And it's really given me the pride that I have for Minnesota dairy farmers and just the whole thing about farming. It's just something about it. Don't you guys agree?
You got it. That's right. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, Donna Honer. Well, next, representing McLeod County is the daughter of Rick and Mindy. This fall, she will attend North Dakota State University, where she plans to study animal science with an emphasis in livestock media. Now, growing up on her family's dairy farm, she's responsible for milking cows, feeding calves, and cleaning pens. In her free time, she also enjoys showing beef cattle, performing in plays, and playing volleyball. From Lester Prairie, here is Grace Garrison. Grace, hey, how does it feel to stand here on stage as a finalist for Princess Kay of the Milky Way?
It's so exciting to see so many people out here supporting Minnesota dairy farmers and showing them the excitement that all of these girls, both backstage and on stage, share as a value.
All right, you're heading to North Dakota State. You plan to major in animal science with an emphasis in livestock media. Tell us a little bit more about, what livestock media is all about.
So if you're familiar with what media is, I'm sure there's a bunch of them here tonight. And what it is basically just media based off of livestock. What I really want to do is travel to different shows and farms across the states, publicizing them, and so everyone can enjoy the products and the cattle that they raise.
Sounds good. Now, what is your favorite way to promote the dairy community?
Well, being that I'm going into livestock media, you can expect that it's the internet. I love using social media. It's such a broad range of capability to use it and to just promote in any way possible, whether it be taking a selfie with a dairy product or taking a selfie with the cow, which is my favorite.
All right, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Grace Garrison. Our next finalist represents McLeod County. Will be going into her sophomore year at South Dakota State University. She's studying dairy production and remains active in her campus dairy club. She grew up on her family's 6th generation dairy farm, where she enjoys feeding and taking care of calves. Now in her free time, she enjoys sewing, going to the lake, road tripping with her family, and showing livestock. From Lester Prairie, the daughter of Craig and Rochelle, please welcome Elizabeth Trinke. Now, hey, you grew up on a 6th generation dairy farm. That's amazing. Tell us about that farm.
Well, I live on the farm with my parents, siblings, and grandparents.
We milk 450 cows in a double 11 pair bone parlor. On the farm, my favorite job to do is working with our baby calves, and my least favorite job is working with my younger brothers.
Understandable, yes. Now, you attend South Dakota State, and I'm curious, as to the students there, how informed are they on the dairy industry?
It goes both ways. During all of my agriculture courses and spending a lot of time being a member of Dairy Club, all of those kids already know about dairy and get to share the same experiences with me. However, I had an opportunity in my speech class last fall where everyone was from various different backgrounds, and I had so many opportunities to share them about why I love eating dairy or why I care for my cows so much, and so that was really cool to see it go full spectrum while at college.
All right, now you mentioned Dairy Club, and what are some of the activities that the Dairy Club involves?
At SDSU, our Dairy Club is really actively involved, and that's where I've made my closest friends, and some of them are even here tonight. And in Dairy Club, we do a big fundraiser where we sell cheese boxes. We make the cheese, cut the cheese, package the cheese, label the cheese, and ship the cheese all ourselves as Dairy Club students. And other activities we do are clean up ditches, and then my favorite trip of all, we attended World Dairy Expo, where I've made my closest friends yet this far.
Sounds great. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, Elizabeth Cranky. Our next finalist grew up on her family's dairy farm and currently attends the Association Free Lutheran Bible School. Now, her responsibilities on the farm include feeding calves and milking cows. In college, she's involved in choir, a small vocal trio, and symphonic wind ensemble. She enjoys music, loves to read, and is an avid Twins baseball fan. She represents Olmsted County and is the daughter of Paul and Susan. From Byron, here is Amy Kylo! An avid Twins fan, you must be excited about this season so far. So, I don't know, any predictions on just how far the Twins can go?
No predictions, but we need to beat Cleveland, and let's see that bullpen improve a little bit. We could do really well.
That sounds good. That sounds good. Hey, when it comes to promoting the dairy industry, what is your favorite way to, say, educate the consumer?
I think one of my favorite things is telling how it takes about 48 hours from the time milk leaves my farm until you can be drinking it, because I know that wows me and just shows how fresh and great dairy is.
Very good point. Now, I see that you really enjoy music. Tell us a little more about the vocal trio that you're involved with.
Yeah, we get to learn music with a couple other great girls, and then we go and sing at churches. Last year we got to go to North Dakota, Minnesota, and Iowa.
Sounds like fun. All right, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Amy Kylo. And our next finalist is from Sherburne, the daughter of Mike and Joanna. She will be a sophomore at the University of St. Thomas, majoring in business. She grew up on her family's dairy farm and is an active member in 4-H and FFA. On campus, she is also a member of the Women in Business Club and Rock Climbing Club. Representing Martin County, would you please welcome Lexi Lane? Lexi, what do you think is the best part about growing up on a dairy farm?
Well, I definitely still consider myself a child at heart, and right now we have a zip line on our farm, so that's probably my favorite part.
Yeah, that sounds like fun. It really does. Now, you belong, you say, to a rock climbing club. So, like, do you actually go out and climb, like, huge rocks, or what is that about?
There's a lot of places around the cities that have indoor rock climbing facilities. And I saw these posters around my campus, and I thought it looked like something interesting, so I gave it a shot, and I've been going to meetings ever since.
So what has it been like the last few days spending time with these 9 other finalists for Princess K?
I've definitely seen these girls around a lot through other agricultural events through FFA and 4-H, but I didn't really know who they were, and ever since we were all announced as finalists back in May, I've been blessed with the opportunity to get to know each and every one of them, and I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Looks like you're all having fun, so that's good. Ladies and gentlemen, again, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Lexi Lane. From Todd County, our next finalist works on Rindy Farms LLC, where her responsibilities range from feeding calves to milking cows. She will return to South Dakota State University as a sophomore, studying human development and family studies. In her spare time, she enjoys playing music and spending time with family and friends. The daughter of Alan and Vicki, from Browerville, here is Rachel Paskiewicz. Hey, tell us a little bit about the farm you work at, Rindy Farms.
So at Rindy Farms, I'm responsible for milking cows and once in a while feeding the calves, but my all-time favorite responsibility is helping my boss's daughter, Della, who is 6 years old, milk. She comes into the parlor and she'll be wearing her little apron, and it is the cutest thing in the world.
Sounds like it. Now, I believe you know the current Princess K quite well. Did she have an influence on you becoming involved in Princess K?
She did ultimately have an influence on me coming into Princess K, but we also had 2 cousins that were finalists in 06 and 2013 as well, and they've also had a big impact on me and how I've become a princess over the years.
Now, what is your favorite way to promote the dairy community?
My favorite way to promote the dairy community is definitely by sharing my story each and every day and the farmers' stories around the county, because while they're on the farm, we're able to show their passion and their drive for what they do each and every day.
All right, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, Rachel Paskiewicz. Our next finalist is from Iota and will be starting her sophomore year at South Dakota State University, where she studies agricultural education. Now, in the future, she dreams of owning and operating her family's dairy farm while also being a high school agriculture teacher. She's involved in 4-H, FFA, Minnesota Junior Holstein Association, and Minnesota Junior Brown Swiss Association. Representing Olmsted County and the daughter of Charlie and Carrie, here is Anna Marie Sachs. You dream of someday owning and operating your family farm, so tell us more about that farm.
My family owns and operates our farm down by Iota with 80 registered Holsteins and Brown Swiss, and we milk them twice a day in our double 6 herringbone parlor, and I love helping milk cows, feed calves, do whatever needs to be done basically.
Now, you at the fair will have your head carved out of butter, so I'm curious, what will you do with 90 pounds of butter when you bring that home?
I honestly have no specific plans right now. I know for sure with the scraps, I want to give them to people who really supported me throughout becoming a dairy princess or anything I've done, small or big. When it comes to the sculpture, I know I'm getting a freezer from some family friends of mine. And I want to do some sort of event with my local 4-H or FFA to really give back to them for how much they helped me grow.
All right, that sounds good. Now, you hope to be a high school ag teacher. Is this something that you always wanted to do?
When I was younger, I never thought I'd be a teacher. I thought it'd be too difficult. But when I got into high school, I wasn't really sure what to do, and I really loved being an FFA. And I brought it up to my ag teacher at the time, and I'm like, I kind of want to teach ag ed. She's like, are you sure? And then she's like, I'm going to have you teach some 7th and 8th grade kids for a semester to see if you really want to do this. By the end, I was completely in love with it, and I can't wait to have my own classroom one day.
That is great. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, Anna Marie Sachs. The daughter of Lloyd and Diane, our next finalist, will be a freshman at the University of Wisconsin River Falls, studying both agriculture business and dairy science. Now, this past year, her family made the tough decision to sell their dairy farm. But she missed milking so much, she found another farm to work on. In her spare time, she loves playing tennis and playing her 6 different instruments. Representing LeSueur County, from the center, please welcome Brittany T.D. You know, I can tell this, you get along great with the other 5. This group of finalists has spent a few days together now, and how has this experience been?
It's been super exciting. We've been filled with a lot of new memories. We've really gotten to fasten our seatbelts and hop on this crazy train together. It's been a really exciting opportunity to meet these awesome ladies.
Now, after selling the family farm, you now work at another dairy farm. So what are your responsibilities there?
Yeah, so I'm mostly in charge of milking and feeding calves, which is a little bit different from what I did at home. You know, I obviously did those things, but I also did a lot more of the field work, so.
All right, now, you obviously love music. I mean, playing 6 different instruments. Tell us, what are those instruments, and do you have a favorite?
Yeah, so I play the guitar, the ukulele, the mandolin, the piano, the harmonica, and the concertina.
Favorite?
The ukulele.
All right, sounds good. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, Brittany T.D. Well, there you have it. What do you think? Let's hear it for all our Princess K finalists. Weren't they amazing? In fact, hey, let's get the candidates back on stage. Get on out here once again. Here they are, the finalists for 66 Princess K of the Milky Way. Yeah, what an outstanding group of candidates. Well, at this time, I'm honored to introduce the Vice Chairperson of the Midwest Dairy Association, Minnesota Division Board. From Buffalo, please welcome dairy producer Charles Kraus. Charles?
Good evening, everyone. What an exciting time to be here at the unofficial kickoff of the Minnesota State Fair. On behalf of the Minnesota dairy farmers, welcome to the 66th Princess K of the Milky Way coronation, and thank you for taking time to celebrate this tradition here with us tonight. The accomplishments of these 10 young women reaches far and wide, but accumulates here throughout the next 12 days. The Minnesota State Fair will give these women many opportunities to show how our community embodies the 4 pillars of undeniably dairy, highlighting that dairy is responsibly produced, locally driven, nutrient-rich, and brings real enjoyment. These ladies will build consumer trust while in the dairy barn by starting conversations on how our dairy foods are responsibly produced. From the one-on-one interactions with fairgoers in the Moo Booth to the show ring in the Coliseum, our princesses will highlight the best of Minnesota with our locally driven farmers, cows, and food. Next, you can find these ladies at one of the most popular places on the fairgrounds, the all-you-can-drink milk stand. By serving up cup after cup of nutrient-rich milk, these princesses will be spreading the dairy goodness to thousands of fairgoers. Finally, everyone will be able to see the real enjoyment dairy brings as people of all ages make their way to the Dairy Goodness Bar. While the Dairy Goodness Bar has many delicious foods, we are excited to showcase Birthday Batter Bash, this year's flavor of the fair. The dairy building is at the heart of what we love, because this is truly where dairy comes to life. the laughs and the smiles from fairgoers, or the curiosity and awe they have of our butter sculptures is a tradition that we as dairy farmers are so proud to be a part of. So thank you to the 10 young women on this stage representing the dairy community here at the State Fair, and to Rebecca, our reigning Princess Kay. From all of Minnesota's dairy farmers, thank you so much for all you have done to bring dairy to life throughout the state of Minnesota this past year.
Thank you, Charles. And now, returning to the microphone to give her final remarks is the reigning Princess Kay. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for the 65th Princess Kay of the Milky Way, Rebecca Paskiewicz.
Wow. It's nearly impossible to think that just 1 year ago, I stood alongside 11 friends on this stage, hopeful for the opportunity of a lifetime. Tonight we gather for the coronation of a tradition that proves prosperity, hope, and a future for dairy. I couldn't be more grateful to you for a phenomenal community to stand behind and for providing me with the opportunity of a lifetime. Though I left my ruby slippers at home this evening, I often think this year resembles the Wizard of Oz and the seemingly impossible journey Dorothy encountered by following the yellow brick road. My journey down the yellow brick road started this time last year, uncertain but excited for what would come next. Just like Dorothy, I had been blessed with a supportive upbringing, found friends and supporters along my journey this year, and learned true lessons of the heart, knowledge, and values our dairy community represents. Not long after her journey begins, the yellow brick road leads Dorothy to the beloved Scarecrow, a character on the search for a brain. I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge how much I have learned from you. As the famous Scarecrow so wisely stated, experience is the only thing that brings knowledge. Earlier this summer, I met some of the most energetic and inspired young people up north in Polk County. Their expertise on each 4-H project was evident to fairgoers, spreading not only excitement, but knowledge. The dairy community has set forth a strong foundation for our youth to work toward and be involved in. I've been able to share my own farm experiences during school visits this year. While some unique stories and questions can stem from 3,440 elementary students, I've been able to spark conversation about why eggs and even pasta don't come from cows. I've heard countless questions from students expressing their interest in learning more about your farms, and of course, whether or not Princess Kay has a prince. I am so grateful for the mentorship we not only provide to youth, but one another. I've seen farmers share their own knowledge with one another, hoping it would help a fellow dairyman or woman as a result of their own experience. Your support of one another in this way has transformed dairy from an industry to a community. Thank you for sharing your knowledge with me and providing experiences that have grown me into who I am today. Continuing down the yellow brick road led Dorothy to a Tin Man in the pursuit for a heart. It's unfortunate that the Tin Man didn't meet any dairy farmers on his journey, as he would have found someone with a heart filled with love for their animals, their family, and their community. I am so grateful for the heart you've shown to your own communities and myself this year. The heart you've shared with me is similar to that of my friend Kathy, a cow lover and cheese maker. Since April, Kathy has created a home for ice cream and coffee lovers in southeastern Minnesota. Her love for people is as evident as her appreciation for the dairy products she serves. You see, our own hearts provoke feelings. I know my heart has been filled with moments shared with Minnesotans over a glass of milk, lots of ice cream cones, and cheese throughout this year. Whether I was receiving a marriage proposal at Orchard Path Senior Living or or talking to a young fairgoer about how princesses can have glasses and braces. My heart is overflowing from the love that I've seen this year. An open heart can provide assurance that who we are and what we love melds so perfectly with those we surround ourselves with. Thank you for opening your hearts not only to me, but to the eaters we impact every day. Of course, this year has not been a brisk walk down the yellow brick road. On the contrary, we as dairy community members have faced so much that have challenged us and scared us. Dairy farmers have seen their fair share of highs and lows, but every good story does. Dorothy experienced a similar worry as she met two more characters on her trip. As a young girl, my dad would always cover my eyes as soon as the Wicked Witch of the West entered the scene. It didn't take me long to realize that such cowardness may work for a little bit, but is truly ineffective. And you have proven the same thing to me this year. The Cowardly Lion is known for overcoming fear, and proving the true courage is in facing danger when you are afraid. I hope you take pride in knowing that you represent the same quote just as equally as the Cowardly Lion. Dairy farmers, thank you for being open to the challenges of agriculture and for always being willing to try again tomorrow. Arriving in the land of Oz was a time of pure joy for Dorothy and her friends, and this year has provided just as much unmatched joy in my life. Dorothy was able to reflect on her journey to the land of Oz and recognize just how proud she was to have arrived. In my own reflection, I am equally as proud of my dairy family for who you are and what you do. This pride I have for dairy farmers and eaters alike isn't one I let fester in my heart or bring up in conversation when or if it's convenient. Rather, in the 7,850 miles I've traveled and the 45 counties I visited in our great state, I've built relationships founded on the values you hold and the pride I have for you. Within Princess K's social media platforms, our #1 post reached 15,500 people. This type of reach is something we can all be excited about. This engagement, both in person and in media, is what makes this program effective. Now, with a click of her ruby slippers, Dorothy's time in the land of Oz fell away, and she soon found herself back in Kansas. Let me tell you, I am glad that after this is over, I'm still going to be in Minnesota. On her return, Dorothy is known for her iconic line, "There's no place like home." With the utmost certainty and sincerity, I have been blessed to be welcomed into the dairy family. By opening your hearts, minds, and arms, my home has been found in you. You have proven to me that if we work together, we can accomplish so much. You've shown me that while no two farms or two consumers are the same, our values align in ways we could never have imagined. To my family, you have seen the ins and outs of all that this Princess K program and experience entails. Your unending interest in what my days look like, encouragement when my agenda exceeds the hours in the day, and love shown through phone calls, hugs, and a listening ear was what helped me find gratuity and blessings in each day. And to my Todd County family, county and state coordinators, dairy farmers, and my supporters from all over. You are the people who push me to give this opportunity my all. Thank you for believing in who I am and what I could be. The woman I am today would not be possible without your continuous support and excitement for my endeavors this year. To each beautiful person I've had the pleasure of meeting this year, thank you. This past year has been nothing short of the land of the Milky Way has had to offer. Each of you has made my heart grow in ways I didn't know was possible. My smile never left my face because your authentic stories and love for food and farming and our shared values of the world that we share inspired every piece of who I am. This year you have given me the world. From the first day to the last, you have embraced me, and from here on out, I'm thankful to continue growing these relationships with you. With a click of my heels in my red dress, I'll trade my crown for an invisible one. My journey down the yellow brick road may be complete, but my journey alongside each of you has just begun. In the words of Dorothy and your 65th Princess K of the Milky Way, thank you for ensuring there is no place like home.
Thank you, Rebecca. Let's hear it. Thank you, Rebecca. Your devotion all the time and given to the dairy community this past year. Thank you so much. Well, all of our candidates were eligible to apply for one of 3 $1,000 scholarships from Midwest Dairy. And a panel of judges reviewed the applications earlier this month. They based their decision on the following criteria: academic excellence, leadership qualities, participation in dairy activities, and future goals. So, as I announce this year's scholarship winners, would you just please step forward? All right, I think I've got an envelope here somewhere. Let's see. All right, scholarship winners. All right, this year's $1,000 scholarship winners are Elizabeth Prinke, Grace Garrison, and Rachel Paskowitz. Congratulations, scholarship winners. All right, Rebecca, I'm going to have you come up here. Miss Congeniality is a special award that is voted on by the 10 finalists. Rebecca, will you do the honors and open the envelope? We're going to find out who this year's Miss Congeniality Award goes to, and I believe you have a special guest for her. Mm-hmm. All right. Congratulations. This year's Miss Congeniality is Amy Kylo. Amy Kylo from Olmsted County. Miss Congeniality. Congratulations. All right. Well, this envelope says top 3. I think we should go ahead. I think the time has come. Yes, in this envelope are the names of our 3 finalists. I just want to point out, remember that, when I read the names, they are in no particular order. And as I read the names of the 3 finalists, I ask that you please proceed to center stage. All right. Our 3 finalists for the 66th Princess K of the Milky Way are Brittany Deedy from LeSueur County, another one of our 3 finalists, Amy Kylo from Olmsted County. Our 3rd finalist is Elizabeth Prinke from McLeod County. Oh, we're getting closer. It is now time. I hope I have an envelope. I do. I have an envelope left. It is time to find out who the 66th Princess K of the Milky Way is. So here you go. Let's open the envelope. Now what's going to happen, Rebecca's going to look at the name and then we'll place the crown on our new Princess K. All right, let's get that envelope open. Take a look. Come on, all right. Who is it going to be? Get the crown. There we go. And the important stuff, the sash. All right. We're just about going to find out who it's going to be.
Your new Princess K of the Milky Way! Ladies and gentlemen, this year's Princess K of the Milky Way, Amy Kylo! Representing Olmsted County, Amy's parents are Paul and Susan Kylo of Byron. How about let's hear it for Amy Kylo, the 66th Princess K of the Milky Way! Amy, congratulations. You are the 66th Princess K of the Milky Way. How does that feel?
I can't believe that this is happening right now.
Congratulations. Oh, it is so much. Now, as you start your reign as Princess K, anything you want to say to this big crowd and to the dairy farmers of Minnesota?
Well, I am just so excited to represent each one of you, and including my family who's here tonight, because this is a great state of Minnesota, and dairy farmers are part of what makes it great. And I'm so excited to be Princess K, and I want to do my best for each and every one of you today.
You're going to be very busy starting very early tomorrow morning, but looking throughout the coming year, what do you think? Are you ready for this adventure?
I sure hope so. It's going to be wonderful, and I'm going to do my best, and I know I have so many people here to support me, and my family who has helped bring me here today will be there to help me through this whole journey.
Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen, your 66th Princess K of the Milky Way, Amy Kylo! Well, it has truly been a night to remember. Congratulations to all our candidates. You did a fantastic job. I want to remind all our candidates, please stay on stage for group photos. Hey, I also want to invite the parents of our new Princess K to come on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, it has again been my pleasure to serve as your MC tonight. Thank you so much for coming. Have a safe trip home, and we will see you all at this year's Minnesota State Fair. Good night, everyone.